Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another YinRBX video. Today I wanted to try something a little different. Now, as a very experienced and well-respected trader in this community, I wanted to use that knowledge to make a video that might help a lot of returning players or people who are looking to get into trading.
Linda!
So I'm going to be covering the top 5 rarest items in the entire game. The way I wanted to do this was only including one item per weapon series, just so there's variety and it's not all just one series on the list. Hey, is that Yapper Yin in the video again? Don't you need me, gameplay Yin? No, go back to your own business. Yes you do, the viewers have been waiting for ages to see me again. The iconic Bunnyman needs his screen time. You're up next week, man. Just be quiet and go back to whatever you do down there. Seriously, I want out of this basement. I haven't been fed in days. It smells horrible, and there's roaches everywhere, man. Just let me out. Don't listen to him. He's always ruining the video. He always needs the spotlight. Seriously, get me out of here right now. So coming in at our number 5 pick, it's actually going to be something that might shock a lot of you. Believe it or not, the original variant of the Fab Egg is among one of the rarest items in the entire game. With having only an astonishing 141 copies, seen this a bunch of times and didn't even have a clue to its rarity. If you have this in your inventory and you didn't know anything about it, you gotta consider yourself lucky for not trading it for like literal peanuts.
Next up in our list, we have a rather newer weapon, and it's the early Rarest Star Gun. This proof doesn't come as a surprise to anyone since the purple Star Gun is very desired, and even people who aren't big traders seem to know that it's very valuable, or at least just really like it. So you almost never find anyone trading it. But of course, what makes it rare outside of its high demand is its low copy count. This weapon somehow only has 119 copies, and I'm one of the lucky owners. It also has a very cool effect. But yeah, if you own this item, you can consider yourself very lucky.
So for our number 3 pick, we actually have probably one of the hardest to obtain items in the entire game. This item is so hoarded that the chances of ever finding someone willing to trade one is honestly close to 0. Of course, we're talking about the original variant of the Heavy Blaster. Just note, this thing has 97 copies, and if that wasn't enough, factor in that about over 33 of them are hoarded. Yeah, you'll be one of the luckiest players to ever grace this game if you were able to trade for one of these bad boys. Real quickly before we continue, I'd just like to say smash that like button and consider subscribing because hey, if you made it this far into the video, you must be enjoying it somewhat, right? You can always undo these things later if you ever change your mind. Alright, so for number 2, we're starting to get into the most elusive and expensive items in the entire game. And fittingly enough, for being a rare item, we actually have the Volcano Gun, which if you didn't know, is the very first collector gun in the entire game. And well, as one could imagine, the game was very new back then, and not many people were sure if they wanted to spend any Robux at all in the game. And this being a game with trading, of course, it's also very heavily hoarded. So on top of being an OG weapon and having an astounding 74 copies, there's probably only about maybe 10 of these in actual circulation. Yeah, good luck ever obtaining one of these. Now at number 1, anyone who is even slightly familiar with old Tmmx will have seen this coming. But it is none other than the Volcano Gun. Without a doubt, the rarest item in the entire game. This was the legendary you could obtain from the Legacy box, and the chances of getting it were so incredibly low that it has a permanent copy count of only 14. That's right, only 14 of these will ever exist, and if that wasn't enough, there's actually 5 being hoarded on one person's account. so trading for one is even more impossible than it already sounded. Well guys, that's the end of this video. I hope you learned something new and maybe even came out of this more informed on your own inventory. And last but not least, don't get yourself sharked out there.